Metal Hellsinger is a first-person shooter that manages to combine rhythmic beat timing, metal, and some very hardcore FPS play into one very unique package. I just wish there was a little bit more meat on these metal bones. Metal Hellsinger is all about combining high-speed FPS play, something that we see from a Doom Eternal or an Ultra Kill, but with more of a rhythmic beat timing to it. To wit, we play as the Unknown, a demon who has lost her voice in hell, thanks to the devil or Red Judge, and we're going to get it back by conquering one hell at a time and doing it very stylishly along the way. Everything about your ability and way to play this game runs through the beat timer that you see in the middle of the screen. Now I have mine set to perfectly 0, so it's only being measured basically by like a heart rate, but that's just because I have no sense of rhythmic timing for games like this. Every time you get a perfect beat, not only will you do more damage, but some of your guns may change their property of their attacks. Your mission is to clear each arena, kill the boss of the hell, and then move on to the next. As you play, you notice the multiplier at the top of the screen. The better you play, the more metal the music becomes until you get the vocals, and you'll start probably headbanging along the way. Now, I am not a metalhead by any means, so I'll leave it up to you guys in the comments to decide or to judge whether or not this is some hardcore or great metal. But the game itself is definitely built on an evolved version of the push-forward combat of Doom and Ultra Kill and so on. As you kill enemies, when they start to flash orange, you can perform a glory kill from any position on the map provided you match the beat. As you kill enemies, you'll build up your super meter. That's the kind of yellowish meter on the bottom right. Every weapon has its own unique super, and this incentivizes you to switch weapons, so you'll always have multiple specials ready and raring to go. Enemy designs will follow very basic patterns. You'll have range ones who will stay back and do their damnedest to track you, while melee ones will close in. Each arena is very much just handmade. There is no RNG whatsoever in Metal Hellsinger, and the reason why is that you have a score in the upper right. The game features local and global leaderboards, so you can see which one of you is the most metal of the gang here. Now, if you're hoping for additional unlocks or persistent elements, that kind of stuff, you'll be able to unlock sigils by completing bonus challenges that will grant you some passives. You'll be able to take into combat up to essentially 4 weapons, with your standard skull as always available. So this allows you to customize your build and also gives you a good sense of the weapon variety. While there aren't as many weapons in Metal Hellsinger compared to Doom Eternal or Ultra Kill, each weapon feels really nice to play. They all have different senses of timing as well as damage and reload, along with their special. One of my favorite weapons I got later on were the kind of like crow daggers that are basically boomerangs that you throw, and their ultimate turns you into a spinning dervish around you, killing everything there is. All in all, Metal Hellsinger is definitely an example of a game where it had a very specific mission statement, that is to combine beat timing with FPS play, and the game I think does that almost flawlessly. With that said, there are a few nitpicks that I have, and if you are a super hardcore FPS fan, then this metal meal may leave you wanting. And we'll talk about that next, but we're going to take a quick break. And if you're interested in my thoughts on design, then check out my game design books. For entry-level students, we have 20 essential games to study, and then the Game Design Deep Dive series that takes an extensive look at different genres, with more coming soon. As I said in the last part, Metal Hellsinger's goal was to implement the beat, timing, or rhythmic kind of focus with FPS gameplay, and it leaves it as a very lean experience. But with that said, for people looking for more in terms of the mechanics or exploring these systems, you may find Metal Hellsinger a bit lacking in that respect. For people who are looking for a game where you can turn off the beat timing, that is not an option. The entire game is balanced and structured around it, so if that is a deal breaker for you, then you may not be enjoying this one. In terms of the actual FPS gunplay, Metal Hellsinger is on the easier side compared to, say, a Doom Eternal or an Ultra Kill. And part of that, of course, is the fact that this is played around beat timing, which adds a whole nother level of challenge to it. I found this game to be a little bit more strenuous for me to play compared to those titles, simply because I'm not good with beat timing myself. But the actual gunplay, again, if you've played either one of those two games, you should be more than well suited to the actual FPS side of things here. Now, as I said a minute ago, the game is very lean in terms of its structure. Outside of the bonus missions that you can do, there really isn't any other reason to explore or go beyond, other than, of course, the score chasing. But if you are someone who likes to find additional collectibles, look for secrets, that kind of thing, there really isn't anything here with Metal Hellsinger. And again, I think that was the point, because that would get in the way of the score chasing, and again, keeping to the rhythmic timing of the title. So with all that said, while Metal Hellsinger is probably not going to be one of my all-time favorite FPSs, again, simply by the beat timing, I still think this is a stupendous game. Because they were able to balance everything in terms of music, metal, and shooting, it definitely stands apart from a lot of the other FPSs out there. And I would say that this is a game where you need to be a metal fan, FPS fan, and rhythmic fan to really get the most out of it. But I think for a lot of FPS fans, you'll probably have at least two of those three nailed down right from the get-go. If you are looking for a new first-person shooter that is not as, again, over-the-top challenging or technically focused as a Doom Eternal or an Ultra Kill, I would definitely give this one a check. Again, the footage you're seeing is played on the highest difficulty, and if you aren't good at the beat timing, I would say playing this on normal or easy should give you more than enough allowance to be able to get through the game. The only, I think, legitimate complaint I have about the design is I wish there was a little bit more in terms of boss variety. The different aspects as you fight at the end of each hell all have the same general structure to them, with a few very select differences. But with all that said, still a fantastic game, and definitely one I'll be looking forward to how I'm going to rate it when it comes to my top 10 list of 2022. So with everything said, I would like to thank the developer for giving me a press key to check this one out. If you're new, do the liking, subscribing, and commenting. If you let me look at your game for a future piece, please get in touch. Check out our Discord and Patreon link down below, and come back for daily discussions on game design here and on game wisdom, where we examine the art and science of games.